Under arrest are women in metro Atlanta spreading warnings.
Told 36 years.
Now I got 50 toes.
It's happening right here. They're after our kids on our streets, on their own cell phones, and we have to...
From their lives, taken from their families, and sold into slavery. They are victims of a multi-billion-dollar international business that traffics hundreds of thousands of women a year.
Homeless teens often experience increased vulnerabilities, both physical and psychological. Traffickers are more able to manipulate and coerce this population. Perhaps they're living in poverty. Perhaps they're experiencing homelessness. Perhaps their life is unsettled.
And I didn't want to do it anymore because I was scared, like, to go to work. I didn't know. But staying with the guy, he would make me come over to his house forced.
And basically solicit me to other people to get drugs.
In fact, economic issues such as poverty, labor, and population growth are the predominant causes for international human trafficking.
I was raised by these two people who called themselves my parents. They never did any parenting. Actually, I guess you could say they were my employers. At a very young age, they were pimping me out.
Pimped her out to somebody, and he had anal sex with her, and she was bleeding. And
Is this a 6-year-old?
She's a 6-year-old girl.
I stayed with my father. But he turned out to be a molester, so I just walked the streets day and night.
I've been abused, I've been raped, I've been molested, I've been tortured.
At what age?
My first time ever being raped, I was 5.
By who?
My foster parent, he raped me, and the foster mom, she knew, but she didn't care.
Human trafficking is big business and a significant global problem that victimizes approximately 27 million people and rakes in approximately $32 billion annually. With so many victims, human trafficking cuts across a broad spectrum of social, economic, and political classes.
I lived a happy and normal life for the majority of growing up, but until I met the person who solicited me, my life really changed forever.
Still living on the street, still homeless. But outside of that, recently, I've been in the hospital. So
what happened with your eye? You got beaten up?
Yeah, well, one of my dates, I got kidnapped and tortured and raped and held hostage for 2.5, 3 days.
Do you know what human trafficking is?
Yes, I do.
What is human trafficking to you?
To me personally, human trafficking is when somebody solicits another person in order to get what they want and also for income.
How has human trafficking affected you?
Human trafficking impacted my life severely by giving me a new perspective in the world and also to myself, and kind of being more aware of my surroundings.
Is it okay with you to share a story with us?
When I was 14, I was in a relationship with a person who was much older, but they lied about their age to get me more attached to them. And basically he would have me come over to his house with a bunch of other friends, his friends, and solicit me for drugs.
Officers pulled over a stolen car Tuesday as a part of their investigation. Inside were 40-year-old Portland resident Jennifer Johnson and 29-year-old Gresham resident Tyler Ford. The adults were with a teenage girl who was listed as a missing person from Portland. New data shows the state of Oregon identified 746 victims of human trafficking across the state in a 12-month period from October 2018 to 2019.
The high number of homeless youth on Portland streets arguably leads to a higher rate of juvenile sex trafficking.
I've experienced just neglect from my family, specifically from my mom. And when I got older, when I was 13, that's when I experienced more forms of abuse.
And when did the first incident happen?
I was 13. Yeah.
And what forms of abuse?
I've experienced physical, sexual, verbal, and mental.
And tell us a story that you're willing to share.
The incident that stuck with me and has changed my life the most was when going into 8th grade. This still happened when I was 13. Going into 8th grade, I went to a summer camp, and this summer camp was supposed to represent a certain organization, and I represented a branch of that organization, and I was the only girl there. So it came nighttime. There was this kid, this guy who was a couple years older than me. He figured out where I was sleeping and which tent I was assigned, and he came into my tent and sexually assaulted me.
And have you tried ever reaching for help?
I never shared my abuse with anybody until now. And now I'm 18, and this is the first time I've ever gotten help.
Now, as a victim of abuse, how can you help other victims and spread awareness to our community, country, and the students in our school?
Currently, I run a campaign about mental health and abuse victims, and I share my story of abuse. Currently, I run a campaign and I share my story about abuse, and I also...
In fact, economic issues such as poverty, labor, and population growth are the predominant causes for international human trafficking.